Okay, everyone.
Sure.
One second. Check first. Yes.
Yeah.
So we are live now. So we'll start.
হ্যাঁ, শুরু করবো।
So once again, we'll start off. Good morning to everyone. Hi, sir. Good morning to everyone. As we have already introduced Dr. Tanay Maiti, and Tanay sir was during his speech when we last got disconnected due to some technical issues. Over to Tanay sir now.
হ্যাঁ, good
To
morning
inform
everyone.
you about few aspects of suicide prevention. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
good morning everyone. Good morning, Srijan. And good morning to Traumweberens members. So what I was telling, suicide is one of the very rare but very important emergency in psychiatry. And what I tell to all my juniors, students and trainees, and what I have learned definitely in last 10 years, every medical emergency, be it a road traffic accident, be it a perforated appendicitis, be it a fracture, multiple bones, there is some time when, as a doctor, as a health professional, we can intervene. Even for a severe heart attack, there is half an hour, there is 20 minutes where we can do something, there is a chance. But suicide is a medical or mental health emergency where once it happened, there is no chance. So, ironically, we consider suicide. Srijan, are you there? I can't see Srijan. I think Srijan, you are offline. Hello. Hi, Srijan. Are you there?
Sir, you're audible and visible. Please go on.
Ha. So what I was telling, suicide is an emergency which once happened, there is no chance as a family member, as a friend, as a healthcare professional we do. We consider suicide as a health emergency, medical emergency, but the irony is, even if for it's a very bad road traffic accident or very bad cardiac arrest, as a health professional, as a doctor, as a family, we can do something, even if the time is 15 minutes or 20 minutes. But suicide, there is no more time. It's end of a person. But WHO data worldwide, it says for every completed suicide, there is at least 20 attempted suicide attempts or self-harm behaviors. Not necessarily a person will do 20 times before self-harm behavior before he ultimately ends up in a suicide. But overall, this is the overall statistics. The number of suicide attempts is 20 times than the suicide completed suicide, and suicide is nearly 1 minute a person all over the globe. Every 1 minute, one person is committing suicide. So it is this big. So 80,000 suicide all over the world in a single year. And the implication, what I say multiple times to everybody, and definitely I do learn every day and I practice, we if there is 20 attempts before a completed suicide, we get 20 times chance to save a person on an average before the person goes for a completed suicide. So you can reframe. So when there is a completed suicide, we have probably missed 20 times to save that person. So that is big. If for a health, for a life, we have missed 20 times for a single person, we really should ask ourselves back whether we have tried our best or not. Suicide is something very serious. We all are seeing nowadays, for some unfortunate reasons, some suicides are very highlighted, but there are a number of suicides are happening, even if it's not a celebrity suicide or a celebrity unfortunate death. So what we say, we are coming with a campaign also. Every life is important and every suicide can be prevented. So that actually is very true. We just need to be cautious. We just need to take the matters seriously. So there are many myths, many facts, many misconceptions about suicide. We'll definitely discuss over time. Uh, so those, all of you, if you are listening to this live, I'll be very thankful if you ask questions directly to me or Srijan, because I believe that will be more effective. Over to Srijan.
Yes, sir. Sir, thank you for the wonderful speech about this day. So, basically, as we have also seen in our own colleges, that we have lost many brilliant students to suicide. And at the end of the day, it feels so hollow that irrespective of all the success, all the fame, one can so easily slip up into depression. And that is the major reason
Absolutely.
why I think that we need more awareness in our society, since mental health is a complete stigma in our society till today, and we are not openly discussing about the things we should do. And as a reason, uh, maybe due to lack of interaction, maybe due to lack of proper education in this particular aspect, we are not able to completely target this possibility. I would like everybody to ask questions in case if there is any question in the comment section, and that would be great. Since sir would be able to live in the live, will able to discuss all the doubts. Um, Now, I would also like to go and, if possible, to some of the questions that we have also collected in our platform. We'll be waiting for
Definitely.
any live questions if anybody posted, and also go towards some of the questions that we have already targeted. So, one of the questions that came up during our collection of questions for this session was, why do people attempt suicide and when they appear to be so successful? So this is a very important question, specifically speaking about a recent tragedy that occurred in Ames, Delhi. We used to follow Sir very closely, and one day we were completely shocked and taken aback that he was such a good guide, he was such a great person. What actually leads a person, irrespective of their fame and success, to commit suicide? Over to you, sir.
Yeah, this is a very good and important question. I also followed the news. I got to know from the students here also. I can see the impact. The students were really, I will say, upset, and they almost considered the person what Sriyan mentioned as their family member. As he was a mentor, he was such a successful, definitely successful person. He cracked all the exams, which all as a medical we all dream of. He influenced a lot of people and so-called followings. His teaching, his relations were people were following. So why then suicide? So we need to understand few things. First of all, a person's professional life and a person's personal life, the self, what I am to me is very different. Success, as you all can understand, success is just a parameter. The professional achievement is just a parameter. A life is much bigger, much broader than the just some professional exams or professional you know acknowledgement we do get. So definitely we need to understand this and we need to differentiate both of this, as we need to understand a person who is academically or professionally or financially very successful can also have his personal problems, internal turmoils, which can lead to these kind of problems. Number one. Number two, there could be illness. Even if there is an illness, there are a lot of speculations. I won't comment about the specific person without knowing the details. But what I say to everybody and what is very important, anybody can get ill. be it physically, be it mentally. So if being a doctor, I say I will never face a road traffic accident, that's probably foolishness. And also being a psychiatrist, if I say I will never have depression, that's the same way as foolishness as well. Depression and mental health problems, the severe mental health problems is very much biological. And also the stress, the worry is also biological. And as a human, having the same kind of genetic structure and biochemical structure inside us, we all are prone more or less. So the way you think, if your friend, your family member, or you can have a accident, anybody can have an accident. We can have a appendicitis any day. The same way we can have a depression any day. The chances are more or less, that's different, but the acknowledgement, the acceptance is actually I will say unfortunate that even in 2020 we are still talking about acceptance. We never need to talk about acceptance if it's a perforated appendicitis or it's a fracture femur. But mental health, there is it has its own problem, but we need to understand and we need to accept. The more we will accept, more we will generalize and we will make it natural, the more will be the help seeking, the better will be the outcome. 10 years back, I will just give a small example. 10 years back, when the acceptance was really low, when we started, so that was very frustrating. Things has improved, but I'll still say the acceptance is definitely not as far to the other illnesses. The reason I'm talking about the acceptance again and again, we need to understand and we need to accept for ourselves and for others also. Illness can happen. We are human, human body and human mind both can have will. So this mere acceptance and more help seeking can improve the things very much. And we need to understand success or cracking an exam or somebody who is having a huge fortune, huge wealth, that are not the parameter of having a completely good mental health or a calm mind. So anybody can be prone, that is the bottom line, and anybody can seek help, and we need to stay prepared to accept this, and we need to provide help to the person who is seeking help. That is, I will say, very important. Over to
Thank
Srijan.
you for the answer. I specifically like the part where you said, thank you, sir, for the wonderful answer. I would specifically like to mention the first point regarding uh, what's the role that many doctors and many
Srijan, your
professionals
voice is
think
breaking.
themselves to be invincible.
Srijan's voice is breaking. Yeah, it's better now.
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
Thank you, sir, for the wonderful explanation to that question. I would like to specifically add on to that point that many doctors and also many other professionals feel themselves to be quite invincible in the scenario that uh, since we are dealing with health, maybe the problem won't be suffering, like we won't be suffering from us. And as a reason, like as sir mentioned, it's very common for even an orthopedic surgeon to have a femur fracture and a cardiologist to have
Absolutely.
a cardiovascular attack. And similarly, like it's
Absolutely.
nothing about stigma, but only about a pathological condition that anybody and everybody, irrespective of their success, can actually face it. Thank you,
Yes.
sir, for the answer. Over to the next question that we have received in the live section. Does a suicide always need to be on a depression background, or can it be due to impulsiveness also?
Yeah, thank you. I think Spriha Chatterjee has asked this question. So it's a very important question. You will be, I think I should mention this. You will be, I will say, shocked and amazed to know, though depression is the most common cause of suicide, but the acute suicidal movement happens mostly due to the anxiety. So the anxiety symptom, what we say, psychological autopsy, the way forensic specialists do autopsy after the death happens on the body. And there are multiple evidences, if it's due to some accident, if it's due to some poisoning, if self or others. So there are evidences. So the actual physical autopsy, there are evidences, but psychological autopsy is always retrospective, and that is, I will say, evidence based. We never know, we will never able to be know what exactly has happened 5 minutes before the suicide event for a particular person, even if there is a 10-page suicide note. But overall, there are methods, there are psychological and scientific techniques over which we can see, we can assess, we can, not, won't say guess, but we can get an idea, scientific idea about what exactly happened 5 minutes before. So mostly it has been seen as anxiety symptom. So the acute anxiety out of any condition, as I will just discuss some scientific aspect of psychiatry or mental health. The way depression can have anxiety symptoms, the same way the anxiety disorders can have depressive symptoms. So it's very mutual, and it's very fluid. For mind, it's very fluid. uh, I will give again an orthopedic example. If it's a fracture femur, there are definitely very types of fracture femur and classifications. But if it's a fracture femur, it's a clear fracture femur. There is no tibia fibula attachment. If there is no tibia fibula or other bone attachment in the X-ray, so we can understand this is a fracture femur. We need to manage the fracture femur. But for mind, there is no boundary. It can go anywhere, and all the symptom can be clubbed. So for that, we need to understand the person as a whole, and it always comes as a outcome rather than the cause. What was the core cause? So what Priya asked specifically, so it's always need not to be a depression. And she has asked it whether it can be due to impulsiveness or not. Sorry. So it definitely can be out of impulsiveness. And also I like to mention it definitely can be out of a number of causes. So it's not necessarily a person will cause uh, suicide attempt or completed suicide out of depression only. There could be psychosis, there could be auditory hallucination, there could be acute anxiety, there could be frustration, there could be a very long-term plan, there could be just a simple personality disorder. So suicide, I will say, we consider suicide as an outcome. So there could be a number of causes, there could be 100 number of causes which ultimately has led up to the suicides. So here we need to also understand. So while addressing a chance of suicide, while we are as a health professional or as a family friend, we are trying to stop a suicide, we need to understand all the causes. If there is possible 99 causes, we really can't stop at 98, because the left one can itself become so serious, it can ultimately lead up to suicide. So the reason I'm probably sounding a little complicated and very serious, but I will say as a mental health professional, we take suicide and suicide attempt very seriously, because it's serious. And if one cause is left, that one cause, if you are unfortunate, can lead up to a completed suicide, and then there is no point of coming back. So here I like to just to mention one thing. Uh, So for suicide assessment, there are multiple aspects we need to understand. So there are I will say, paradoxical suicide, what we say, paradoxical situations where suicide can happen when the patient is improving. I'll just give the most easiest and most frequently seen example. So when a person who is severely depressed is getting better, severely depressed, by the word severely depressed, I mean he's so depressed, he or she is so depressed, he don't even have the energy, don't even have the consolidation of thought of doing some self-harm. But the paradoxical suicide has been observed so commonly when the person gets better and he gets back the energy. So it's a till the person is completely better, or to the extent better where he or she can manage himself, we need to be cautious. So depression is improving initially, it does not mean person is out of the race. So when it's paradoxical suicide, the person gets the energy, gets the thought consolidation to commit the act, because the distress, the sorrow remains in the mind, remains probably the same. So we specifically do mention to all the family members, and I think it need to be taken very seriously, because as a family, as a friend, we observe the person to improve, and we think probably things are going to be better, but it's still not better if it's completely better. So because in severe depression, there is so much less energy, the person can't consolidate himself. So while improving, there is a chance as well. So similarly, there are n number of causes, but what I am trying to give the message, so there suicide, to prevent suicide, to understand suicide, and to help, actual help which will work, we need to be cautious, we need to be with the person throughout, not just the initial part. Over to Srijan.
That was a wonderful explanation, sir. Specifically, I would like to again highlight that part where you said about paradoxical suicide. And we do not have a very good conception about it in the public. And that is the point of conducting awareness sessions such as these in order to understand them. And also, as Sir said, like it brings me to the next question also. That as Sir said that a broken mind is something which is very similar to a broken fracture, like a fracture or a broken femur. And when a person breaks a bone, we do not understand what to do, like to apply heat or apply cold, and what to do in that particular moment. And sometimes, for example, in medical emergencies like snake bites, we have seen people trying to help, but they do completely reverse of that. So this is the very next question about how a friend can help a person who is closely in need, and what are the actual ways and methods. Like the actual question is, as a friend, what can we do for a person who is not very close to us, but we are seeing that they require help, and how can we definitely help them and not commit any mistakes while offering them help? Over to you, sir.
That's an important question. Yeah. So I'll just mention the very important salient points here. First, and I believe the foremost, first, and most important thing we can do for any person, be it a very close friend or somebody we just known to, not being judgmental and to provide support. Just being there, just becoming supportive, just staying around the person makes a huge difference. So support, and support. Just being with the person mentally and if possible physically, that works wonderfully for a mental support. And also, if you are physically with the person, or if you advise the family members to be with the person physically, obviously the chance of self harm acts will be less. So we do advise the family member need to be stayed with the client or patient all the time. So support is very important. Number two is not not to go into the myth or judgmental comment like it will get better, don't worry, ऐसा तो डिप्रेशन सबको होता है, कुछ नहीं तो ठीक हो जाएगा. Remember, obviously the words motivates, the support motivates, but don't underestimate the situation. If a person, it still happens when a adolescent says, or when a young family member says, yeah, not, I feel better, I don't leave, I want to die. Family member takes it very easily, or takes it, they scold them, they say, ऐसा तो सबके साथ होता है, इतना क्यों सोचने का हो गया. But remember, if a person, what the same, will stick to orthopedics again, the same way one accident can cause one only fracture of one tibia for a person, the same way the same fracture can cause, same accident can cause fracture of all the bones. So for similar kind of stresses, similar kind of situation, not necessarily everybody's stress will be the same. We are different, our perceived stress, the way we feel it is different. So we need to remember, understand, and value it. It's not, absolutely not about being weak. It's absolutely not about, oh, you don't have mental power. So definitely these comments are absolutely not acceptable. And remember, I say this to everybody, and I like to say this here also. There is no doubt we love ourselves most. Everybody on this earth. Probably the closest will come a mother's love for a child, because that's really special. That's what I have learned over these years. But other than that, whatever love you are in with your boyfriend or girlfriend or spouses, remember, any day when crisis happens, we love ourselves most. I ask everybody, when it's a two boat, only Jack probably has given the respite option to Rose in Titanic. But in real life, I'm sure every Jack will save themselves. So that is a natural instinct. That's how we know, within inside ourselves we love ourselves. So when we think of ending our own life, so you can understand how much painful it will be. The most loved, the reason we are doing everything, the reason we are existing, we are actually fed up and we are thinking of ending it. So it is that painful, that serious, and that impactful. So never to take it easily, no judgmental comment, and not to underestimate it. कुछ नहीं, ठीक हो जाएगा, चल घूमने जाते हैं, डेफिनेटली घूमने जाओ, हैव योर गुड टाइम. बट if the suicide talks and behaviors are persistent, seek a help. And I will here mention, without, I hope I won't offend anybody. Definitely, I believe it's not that only a psychiatrist or psychologist can help a person who is in mental distress. There are role of friends, families, immense. They can do wonder as well. But when it's not being controlled or not being totally addressed or better by your as a help with a family or friend, please don't hesitate to refer to a professional. We don't do anything massive or anything, what I say, we don't do any magic, but the experience, the experience and the constant practice of the experience makes definitely a proper experience professional uh, probably understanding the situation better. So it's not that you can't do anything, but it's also not that you can do everything. Even if it's me, it's not, or anybody, I believe definitely everybody has their limitation as a professional, as a person. So if it's not being controlled or managed by your own self, is a professional also refer. The same way we do refer, it's not happening in this setting or with me, we refer to other psychiatrists or psychologists the same way. So I will say, uh, uh, this is definitely everybody takes their family members importantly, but there is a some misconception for mental health aspects, and they think with support, घूमने जाएंगे, वेकेशन पे चला गया तो सब ठीक हो जाएगा. हो सकता है, नहीं भी हो सकता है, if it's not getting better. Because the reason I'm repeating this again and again, because this is so common. Most I mean, it's so common that often we get the person first contact, what we say, the first contact with the mental health system is after an attempt, and the parents or the family, they they crave, or they become repentful. This he was telling for this for 6 long months, but we didn't took it seriously. So please, I'm not scaring anybody, but I'm just requesting everybody to stay cautious. It's serious. The way while crossing the road, we see whether any car is coming from the left or right. The same way, we need to be cautious. And if the car is coming, wait. The way we simply don't jump off and try to pass the road in between the running vehicles. The same way, wait and take proper precaution. That is very important. Over to Srijan.
Thank you for the great answer, sir. Thank you for the great answer. I would also like to mention two of the points that sir said specifically. One is that regarding the aspects of friends, that we actually are serving as the bridging population between a person not opening up and the psychiatrist. So, in case there is any emergency or there is any pathological scenario, sir, as sir rightly mentioned, that we must approach the help of a psychiatrist, and friends and families act as the bridging gap between them. Also, as sir also mentioned that there are various doubts regarding who is actually justified to commit suicide, and all such matters which are judgmental along this social media, which is quite wrong to mention, because everybody has their own limit of tolerance, and everybody is their own winner
Absolutely.
at the end of the day, and different wars going on for them. So in case there are different wars going on for them, and as a reason, we all know somebody might be facing some different issues. And the first thing is that we should stop judging people and understand that every psychological problem is actually a genuine one. There's no more genuine or less genuine psychiatric problem, and
Absolutely.
everybody made because of maybe because it's a smartphone, it might look that a person is not getting a smartphone and the person is feeling depressed, maybe because there is huge amount of pent up rage, pent up tension, and various other psychiatric imbalances in his or her life that is leading to the final tipping point of that not getting a cell phone, or maybe such which may
Very well
actually
put,
look superficial from the
Srijan.
like
Absolutely.
we actually have
Absolutely.
studied in cognitive medicine as well, that the iceberg phenomenon, there is only the tip, which is the psychiatric illness, and there's a huge story beneath it that most of the society is not able to see, and that is what the role of a mental health professional is. If possible, sir, I would also like to ask the another question that has been asked to us, if possible, if your time permits,
Sure,
uh,
sure.
uh, regarding how to deal with anxiety due to some how to deal with anxiety due to some other health issues. As a family member, how can we help that person specifically, because this is a time of COVID, and also there are a huge amount of anxiety regarding these issues. I would like sir to answer this question if possible.
Yeah, this is probably the question of the year 2020. The question we all are having. So it's definitely no doubt this is the question we are all are facing in 2020. So I'll say first for COVID anxiety, we need to understand and accept again it's a real anxiety. We all are in fear more or less, and we all are fearful for ourselves and our family members, those who we are working as a health professional in hospital. Definitely I really won't think anybody is without fear, number one. And also to understand this fear is very real. The same way in a busy street, if I say, okay, I'll cross the road closing my eyes, that will be foolishness. If we don't stay in fear, or if we don't accept the reality, this is a condition where anybody can get infected, so that's a denial and that's a foolishness. So how to help is first of all to understand the fear is real, and as a measure of active help, we need to understand and provide the support or the fact of how many people are getting better also, what is the support we all are getting, and how people are recovering also. So this question is a long discussion, but I'll just say a few salient points. So always for any stress or any conflict or any worry, we need to understand what are the positive point or what are the positive matter in this factor. So if COVID happens, that's no good news, but we need to also remember, and we also need to explain or tell people how many people are getting better, how many people are recovering smoothly, what are the helps available. So definitely the preventive measures are there: the mask, sanitizer, avoiding social gathering, etc. We all know by now. So the protective measure, if the first line protective measure does not work, the primary prevention, go for secondary prevention, the same way we have learned in community medicine. So what I'm trying to say, we need to understand everything is not in our control. We still don't know much of things about COVID, and we really can't control everything on earth. Being an individual, even if we are the richest person or the most powerful person, be the Ambanis or the Donald Trumps, but still we can do a few things for ourselves. We can protect ourselves. We can stay cautious, and we can stay positive. We definitely can know what are the help we can get, what the rules are changing, what are the hospital, as a very practical measure, I'll say what are the hospitals where it is getting treated well, where beds are vacant, what are the new rules. So to follow the reality, not to panic, to become stay mindful and know the reality helps. And definitely while helping others, definitely tell about, if you are worried about your elderly family member, or definitely elderly family members are more worried, tell them the recovery story also. I say it in all my talks, and definitely I have written it all my columns. There is absolutely no point being an individual, being an just an common individual of common citizen of the country. We hardly it matters whether the infection is 33,000 or 35,000. So we need not to follow every news. If I'm a common citizen, I'm staying at home, I need to know what are the hospitals beds are there, what are the measures I need to do, and what are the government rules are changing. So what I'm trying to say, know the fact, know the useful information, follow this and stay cautious, rather than following every news, reading everything. And as we know, we are talking a lot about infodemics, the pandemic of information. There are so many information, and the websites are showing counts, the government websites are showing counts, because that's not for everybody, that's for health professionals to understand as a whole. I'll again repeat, and I firmly advise, there is no point, absolutely no point, to know whether it is 35,000 infection today or 35,100 infection today. but what I need to follow, what I need to tell, that is more important. And we need to know the recovery things. So there are COVID clubs are happening, COVID support groups are happening. Definitely, if I get to know from a same suffering person how he or she has get better with time, I will get hope. So definitely, these COVID clubs are most welcome if it's followed properly. And again, not to panic. We know in anxiety, in worry, we all are, I will say, a bit nervous, and we all are clueless what exactly to do. So try to prevent that condition. Try to stay calm and understand the situation and solve the situation rather than you know leaving your control over the situation. Over to Srijan.
Thank you, sir, for sharing that. And specifically, we have all faced this, especially during the initial parts of this pandemic, regarding the anxiousness of this COVID-19. And that was a perfect
Absolutely.
answer regarding what exactly how we can learn from the people who actually have fought the war. This was a very enriching session to say the least, and we had a great time with Sir, understanding some few aspects about suicide prevention and especially the problems that we might have faced. And we are very thankful to Sir to join us amongst his busy schedule and make such a wonderful talk. Um, and if possible, I would like ask Sir to just add a closing remark about what we can do in order to maintain the mental state of us during the COVID-19. Over to you,
Yes,
sir.
Srijan. So, be it COVID-19 or be it any stressful, traumatic situation, and I always say, though our so-called quality of life is improving, but probably the life what we are seeing 2020 is going to be more stressful, more worrisome in 2030. So what is going to happen? We can't really avoid stress. Stress will be there, worries will be there, new type of worries will be there. We never knew in 2019 this time what we are going to face in 2020 in the month of August or September. So things will come, challenges will come, worries will come, personal, community or global worries will come, but the way hard time comes, the same way it goes off too. I absolutely respect and value and take it seriously when somebody is not feeling well or even feeling suicidal. So definitely that's what where we need to be cautious and we need to empathic and we need to take seriously. For me as a psychiatrist, for me as a common citizen of the country or global citizen, or for everybody to take things seriously. And also I will request everybody to understand and remind themselves they all have their hard moments, low moments, very stressful moments in their life of 20 years or 30 years, but we all have overcome it. So things might look very tough as of now. Things might be actually very, very tough right now. I have failed my exam. My girlfriend has left me. I am bankrupt. My home, suddenly, some municipality, as we are reading in the newspapers, some municipality came and broke my office. So anything can happen, be it in Mumbai, be it in Kolkata, be it in New York. But things will improve if we stay there. If we try to solve the matter, things will improve. Things do improve, and things has improved in past. So to be strong, to wait for our better time, to work for our better time. Until then, if and also to accept we all can have our low moments or bad moments, bad times. So as a family, friend, as a loved member of the community, we can definitely be there as a support. Even if somebody is bankrupt, I hardly can give all the money to him or her to pay his debt, but we can be empathic to the person. Least we can do, we can be empathic, we can be supportive, we can understand the problem. And believe me, that works excellently. Just to listen, just to being empathic and being there. So support is very, very important. Over to Srijan. Srijan is mute, I guess.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I can hear you.
Thank you very much for the enriching words, sir. And it has been an amazing experience to host you, and specifically on this occasion of World Suicide Prevention Day. And as we can see in the comment section, also many people have actually felt this session has also made a very useful impact on their lives.
Yeah, I'll
Um,
say one more
and
line
thank you.
with permission of Srijan. So
Yes, sir.
yeah, I would have
Yes, sir.
actually loved ki if we would have taken more questions or discuss more. Definitely, hopefully, this the option. And I will again say, suicide not only happens in World Suicide Day. So it's a 365 into 24 into 7. Every day, every moment is important. I hope we will discuss over it. We will understand over it. So it's the more discussing, more didactic, more it will be helpful. Then the reason, I mean, obviously, anybody can have a busy schedule, but still, I think this was important. And thanks to Traumweberens, Region, and the whole team, because to take this initiative and take the matter seriously. I'm again coming back probably the same point, but believe me, in 10 years, still we do face where there is no acceptance, and we still do get people, adolescent, young family members. The parents are bringing them after multiple attempts, after a year of 2 years. So some cases, thankfully, we have saved the person. Not we have not done anything heroic. The system has saved them, but just to think back and to understand the immense pain and trauma the person has gone inside for 2 long years, the what I say psych ache, the way body aches, the headache happens, the leg ache happens, the psychic, the pain of the mind. We all know how serious it can be. So request to everybody, to all the young dynamic leaders of trauma webinars, I'm sure you will be the leaders, and we will be the competent friends and uh, the health personals, and as a citizen we will be there 24 into 7 for the help, just to accept, understand, and refer timely. Yeah, and definitely we'll love to discuss some more in some better day where we will all have more time. Over to Sridhar.
Thank you, sir. And we are very thankful to you. I am mentioning that again and again. That sir said that today is a very busy schedule and he has many works to do, but still he has managed a lot of time for this event and this live session in order to deal with doubts on our behalf as well. And I guess this has also reached out and will reach out in the next few days to many people who have various questions about suicides and specifically how to prevent them. Um, Thank you again. Thank you for all the to all the viewers who are live right now, and for all the beautiful comments and also the doubts which have been asked and catered to by our respected sir. And I would like to end this session here so that sir can also stick to his schedule and we can also go on for having a wonderful day.
Absolutely.
Wishing you all a great, wonderful day after this session. Thank you. Good morning and have a good day.
Thank you, Srijan. Thank you
Thank you,
for
sir.
your time as well. We'll meet again. Bye everyone.
Thank you, sir.